Brandon, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, good to be here.
So you are in Alaska.
Yep, I'm in Petersburg, Alaska. It's in southeast, right in between Juneau and Ketchikan.
Okay. So Alaska is one of those places I've never been to. It's up towards the top of the bucket list. It's just so expensive for a non-resident to come hunt there. I do have a buddy who shot a moose, actually. He did it DIY. And then I know some of the caribou hunts you can still do if you use like a transport service,
Hmm.
drop you off, pick you up. That's it's still it's expensive, but doable. But like you know, and God bless everyone that can afford to, but like paying $30,000 for a moose hunt is just not something that is in the cards for me with three kids and
Hmm.
bills and life, and but I do want to come there and I want to go hunting, but it
Oh,
might have to be
100%.
fishing first.
Well, hit me up, man. I'm a guide. I'm a fishing guide too. Do fly fishing and I have a charter service too, so that'd be awesome. But yeah, no, that hunting, if I had to pay $30,000 to do it, I probably wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like why I have people like, well, why haven't you gotten into sheep hunting? I'm like, well, the cheapest one is the Dall sheep, and it's 35,000 now.
Yep, yep.
You
And
know.
need the outfitter, you need everything. So it's ridiculous and it's
Hmm.
expensive.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I am doing a mountain goat hunt in 2026, but it's in British Columbia. The Alaskan ones were too expensive. going
Well,
going back to that.
yeah.
Uh-huh. But I do want to come there, and it has been on at the top of the bucket list for a long time. So maybe I'll take you up on the fishing. So, are you from there originally?
Yeah, so I was just about born and raised here. I mean, so part of this story goes into I'm Alaska Native, I'm Tlingit. And so that's the predominant tribe throughout Southeast Alaska. And my dad's family's from Petersburg.
Uh-huh.
And so I mean they've been here since the town was incorporated in like 1910. And so I mean we've we're originally I got family in the village of Cake just north of Petersburg. I got family from Wrangell just south of here, and so we've been in this area for a long, long time.
So I'm looking like it's hard to tell through Zoom, but it looks like there's reddish in your beard. Is there?
Yeah, yep, there
So
is. There is.
you look Irish to me, not so much native. I don't know. Do most of the people, and I don't know about the
Oh, it's
Tlingit
fair.
tribe, do they
Yeah.
look like you?
So I got what's called the Tlingit build. So it's funny. My dad always says we're a rowing people, and so if you look at us, a typical Tlingit has short legs, stocky, a
Uh-huh.
little bit shorter, broad shoulders, and so I'm about 5'8", and so that's where I got the Tlingit build on me. But then my mom's also full blooded white. She's non-native, and so I got no
Okay.
Irish in me, but I'm Tlingit, but I also got Norwegian, Scottish. I mean, I got all sorts of Northern European in me too.
Okay. All
Where the
right
red
on.
hair and blonde hair, or red beard and blonde hair comes from.
Right, right. Okay. So did you grow up in the outdoors?
Yeah, so from the time I could walk, my dad had me outside. So I have three brothers and one sister, and I mean, all of us from the time we could walk, we were going out hunting with my dad. We were chasing after deer and moose. I mean, we were hunting marine mammals. So we were doing seal, sea otter, sea lion, the whole gambit, ducks, and then I've taken a little bit more to fishing. My brother, growing up, my brother's taken a little bit more to hunting. I mean, we do both, but
Yeah.
that's where, and now that we're getting older, we're kind of balancing it out to where they're fishing more, I'm hunting more. But
Uh,
yeah, so we grew up in the outdoors, and you have to on a small island.
mm-hmm. Um, so fly fishing though,
Yep.
and I'm going to say this, and I don't think it's going to come off as racist, but fly fishing doesn't really seem like a native people sport to me. It seems to me like a lot of it I associate with, and you can tell me about the
Yeah.
Tlingit tribe, but it sounds like subsistence is a big
Yep.
part of that. Fly fishing is not about subsistence. It's about it's like an art form. I'm gonna
Yeah.
catch the fish, and then I'm gonna baby the fish and protect it, and I might even use a barbless hook, and I might even get mad if I catch one because I don't really want to catch one. I'm just out here, but I don't want to hurt the fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm of course exaggerating, but I like to
Oh yeah.
fly fish.
Heck yeah, man.
But yeah, I don't know that fly fishing is a big part of native culture. Correct me though if it is.
Yeah. And so I think you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So I think where it comes from is where this comes from for me is that I grew up. I mean, I do the whole subsistence fishing thing because that's a whole other fishery here in
Hmm.
Southeast Alaska. So like we go out and do drift gill nets. Not like you see down south of the mouth of rivers or anything. Where it's actually open to all Alaskan residents. And so if you're an Alaskan, you're able to go out and go set a drift gill net out in the salt water when the sockeye are coming in, when the cohos are coming in, and everyone's able to do that. And so, I mean, I grew up doing that. I grew up doing subsistence halibut fishing, and I still do that, and we still do all the subsistence. But there's just something about, while it's not traditional or in our culture, there's just something about being able to appreciate the resource when your freezer's full and have
Yeah.
no pressure, and be like, I'm gonna go out and enjoy this. I'm gonna go out and enjoy fighting the fish. I'm gonna go out and, I mean, you hit the nail on the head when you're like, oh, I'm gonna baby the fish. I'm gonna use a barbless hook. It's like
Yeah.
when I'm trout fishing or steelhead fishing, I'm easy on it. But when I get a coho on my fly rod, I have no problem kicking that sucker up on the beach and and
Yeah.
harvest. I mean, and so it's kind of a combination to where I take the traditional stance of fly fishing where it's more conservational minded, which falls in line with our culture being good stewards.
Right.
But also I love putting a salmon on the grill,
Uh-huh.
especially a fresh salmon that I don't have to
Sure.
worry about putting it up for the wintertime.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a kind of a dichotomy with it, but yeah, it's definitely not 100% traditional idea,
Hmm.
but it kind of plays into my appreciation, love for the outdoors, which my culture's given me.
Yeah. So I've done quite a bit of trout fishing, for rainbows, brown trout in Oklahoma and New Mexico, a little in Colorado. Um, but one time I was fishing in New Mexico with a guide on the Red River outside of Taos, and I asked him. I said, we hadn't started fishing yet, and we're walking to our spot, and I asked him. I said, Randy, where is your stringer? And he just kind of looked at me with these big eyes, and I was like, no, I'm just kidding, dude.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is so this summer alone, I've taught people how to fly fish, and that's like part of my gig. And so I was taking these guys out, and they're wanting to keep every single trout they're owning or catching, and I'm just like, you can keep your legal limit, but you're the first fly fisherman I've ever had that have like torn the head off of a cutthroat trout. I'm like, this is
Oh
wild, man.
yeah.
But it's we have limits for a reason. It's a good resource, and we got tons of them. So
Hmm.
good, more power to them.
Yeah. Um. So what is your favorite? What is your favorite thing to fish for then?
You know, that's a tough question. It's like trying to pick a favorite child. it's but for me, I think right now I would say
How
we
many
have
children do you have? If you have more than one, you know which one's your favorite.
yeah, fair enough. I only got one so far, so that makes sense.
Uh,
But right now it's a toss up between spring steelhead. We have a pretty good sized wild steelhead run, and I love chasing after them. I love getting people on them. That's like the idea of like goat hunting or Dall sheep hunting for me is just like chasing after the steelhead. It's just the
mm,
pursuit of them is my favorite. They're challenging to catch, and when you get one, they're acrobatic and challenging the land. And so I love fishing for those. But then we also in the fall time we have a really good cutthroat run because they're coming up chasing the salmon, and so you'll get some really nice big cutthroat that just I mean if you're getting in the nitty gritty of fly fishing, they'll hammer streamers. And so
huh,
like a lot of guys will bead fish for them, but you put a flesh fly through there or even like a sculpin pattern, and they'll just hammer it, get acrobatic, tug really hard, and there's a lot of them. And
huh.
so it's like I love it. It's one of my favorite fisheries.
And which one's the best tasting?
The best tasting. Oh man! So as far as fish that you can catch on a fly rod, you know, steelhead are fantastic, but we have a pretty strict limit up here. They have to be over 36 inches to
Huh,
keep one. And
huh.
so that's 4% of the population. But if you get one like that, um, they're fantastic eating. Otherwise, I would say king salmon, hands down, like king salmon are my favorite.
And what if you also took into account saltwater fish, halibut?
Yeah.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
I would still say king salmon. Catching a bright, we call them feeder king salmon or winter king salmon, ones that haven't come back to spawn yet. They get this really nice fat layer on them. And they
Okay.
get I mean, just a rich fish. They don't have that super fishy taste that but they're rich. They're flaky meat. It's moist. It's like almost impossible to overcook a feeder king salmon.
Mm.
And so yeah, that's my favorite.
How old? So when these salmon go upstream or upriver, they spawn, they die.
Yep. Yep.
How old
One
are
and
they
done.
when they reach that level of reproductive maturity?
Yeah, it depends on each species of salmon, but for king salmon, they say it's from 5 to 7 years. And so, like, they'll go out, they'll spend a few months in the creek, in a creek or the river that they hatched in, and they'll get up to what's called the fingerling size, about, I don't know, three
Yeah.
or 4 inches long. Then they'll take off into the ocean and feed for a few years, and then it, I'm not entirely sure what the science is on why they return when they do, but I think it really, I'm not even sure if we know why they return between
Mm.
at what age they do. But between 5 and 7 years old, the 5 year olds are anywhere from like 14 to 18 pounds on average up here. You get into the 6, 7 year olds, and that's when you're getting into like the 20, 30 pound range.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a lot of bears around?
Tons. We
Mm.
have black bears primarily, but then we're starting to get a good presence of brown bear on the island. So
Huh.
because Petersburg's on Mitkoff Island, and so it's like small little island on the inside passage right across from the mainland. So we have a lot. We growing up, we had a lot of black bears, and just recently in the last few years, we started seeing a higher number of brown bears over from the mainland onto our island.
Just swimming there.
Yeah, they'll swim. We have a spot called Dry Straits on our island where at low tide you can walk across from the mainland.
Okay.
And so that's where a lot of them come from. That's where we get like a lot of our moose population when they first came to the island, walked across that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I did a moose hunt in Newfoundland, and my outfitter. So they have woodland caribou there,
Oh yeah.
which are there's not as many as
Mhm.
say. What is the caribou that you have? Just
So
barren ground
yep,
caribou, mostly in
yep,
Alaska.
yeah, mostly up north. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see the huge migrations. These aren't like that.
Hmm.
But he said the same thing regarding coyotes. Like when he was a kid, they didn't have coyotes, but when it freezes, whatever strait surrounds Newfoundland, then these
Yeah.
coyotes have started coming over from the mainland
Oh,
and
interesting.
of really hurting the caribou herd because they're not
Well,
used to the coyotes, I guess, and
yeah.
they don't have. I guess they have black bear, but other than that, they don't have. There's no wolves on the island, so they don't have true apex predators harassing them at all times. Now they're starting to get this influx of coyotes, and it's knocking down their caribou population significantly.
Interesting. Sounds like there needs to be some thinning of the coyotes over there.
No kidding. No
Yeah.
kidding. So, what is your favorite thing to hunt then?
My favorite thing to hunt, I love moose hunting, but it's a fast and furious season around here. It's from September 15th to October 15th. And so we're setting up moose camp. So that's like, I love doing that. And if it was longer, I'd say moose. But right now it's probably deer. I love interacting with bucks. I love interacting with the deer around here. I mean, it's
These are
entirely
blacktail.
Yep, Sitka blacktail. So a little bit smaller. And especially once they start getting into rut, you're able to really, really interact with them. But with deer calls and like it's different style of hunting than I've done anywhere else. I've done a little bit of whitetail down in Kansas where my wife is from, and I've done a few whitetail in a few other spots, and it's like you're getting up into a spot, you're having to really think about what the deer's behaviors are, getting up into their territory rather than like trying to call them into like a blind or anything. You're getting into their land, you're getting into their area, and that's one of my favorites. Now,
Hmm.
what's fun though is marine mammal hunting, sea otter and seal is that's just fun, and that's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it's you can do it year round, but being able to go out and like being able to go out chase after big otters and from shooting from a reef. I mean, you're taking when I'm shooting from a reef, I'm taking anywhere from 50 to 300 yard shots with I have a T-23 that'll do that with, and it's just to get a lot of fun because there's a lot of them,
Shooting
and
from a reef, just like
yeah.
you're just standing on it, or what?
Yeah, so what we'll do is it really depends. And so we'll take a boat into these reefs, sneak up on our bellies. And so because a lot of the time the otters are right up against the edge when you first come up on this reef, and so sticking way out of the water. And you get a little vantage spot, and you're being real stealthy about it. And then you just start blinking away, taking your shots, picking your otters because we have so many of them around here. It's like you'll see a lot of females, a lot of smaller, younger ones, and we let those ones go, let them drift by, and so we're looking for the big males. And so you can always tell because they have this white fur from their shoulders up, and their
Oh,
size is like way better.
wow. Okay. So you're actually hunting these things, and I saw a picture on your Instagram. It was a couple sea otters and a seal. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's an interesting combo platter.
yeah.
Uh,
You
so
know,
how do you hunt the seals?
it's seals are a little bit easier, and I mean they're a little bit easier to hunt. And sea otters aren't difficult to hunt when you get them down, but seals are pretty easy. So what you do with a seal is that you typically we'll go up on the reef. Sometimes we'll shoot them from the boat, but we'll go up on a reef and then you start making noise that attracts them because they're curious animals.
Huh?
And so that's where we're really picky choosy about the ones we get. And so we'll make noise, make noise, make noise, and then they'll come in, and then you kind of get your pick of the litter on which one you want. The deal is though is that once you pull that trigger, like everything else, that's when the work starts because they sink really fast. I mean, they're like they'll exhale and then they're down. And
Huh?
so we usually have someone stand by in a boat. We'll shoot. They'll go over and then start picking it out of the water and trying to get it back on the boat. But it's like grabbing a really taut, slippery. I don't even know what to compare it to. It's just dead weight though.
Hmm. And and what kind of seals are these?
We're getting harbor seals.
Harbor seals. Okay.
Yep. And so typically the size that we're looking for is anywhere from 150 to 300 pounds.
Wow. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
realize they were that big.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Our sea otters we're typically looking for sea otters anywhere from 80 to 110 pounds. Sometimes we'll get a little bit bigger.
110-pound sea otter.
Yeah, they're huge. So our sea
Oh my
otters are,
gosh.
and so they're not I mean, you do get little cute guys, but they're not like the cute Animal Planet kind of deal. Their male sea otters are vicious. My wife just got a really awesome picture of one in Glacier Bay, one of Glacier Bay just north of here. Actually, it was attacking another otter, and so you
Huh.
can see its teeth. I mean, the fangs on those things are huge, and
Oh yeah.
they're part of the weasel family.
Yeah. We have river otters in Texas. A lot of them.
Yep.
Actually, they've made quite a comeback. They're not protected. You can shoot them. A lot of people
Perfect.
that stock their ponds, you know, these otters will move in from like a creek nearby and just wipe out. They'll stay as long as they can find fish.
Yep.
So people want to, they trap them, they shoot them. Um, we'll see them in reservoirs from time to time.
Yeah.
Um, so they are pretty common here, but I would say they're 15 pounds,
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
in there, like 120. That's bigger than a wolf, man.
Yeah, no, I mean they're huge, and that's honestly, I mean our sea otters do a lot of the same deals that I won't get into the history and politics that go into it, but basically they got reintroduced to Southeast Alaska, and then they just rapidly started taking over our environment and started eating our shellfish, started wiping out urchin populations, Dungeness crab populations, clam populations, just about anything they can eat. They even eat. We've seen them eating coral. Like we pulled coral out of their stomachs before, and we pulled herring eggs out of their stomachs. And
So, like
so
with anything else, when they're reintroduced, they're protected.
yeah, so they're protected under the Marine Mammal Protection Act, which is you have to be a quarter Alaskan coastal native under the Marine Mammal Protection Act currently to go out and harvest them. And so I fall right within that threshold. My dad's half Tlingit, I'm a quarter Tlingit, my brothers are a quarter Tlingit,
Hmm.
and so we go out and we hunt them. We hunt them as much as we can just to try and create more balance in our ecosystem. And so they're
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. So I didn't understand the conservation component that went along with uh, otter hunting,
Yeah,
but
oh, 100%. And so a great resource and a great person to watch and to hear about this a little bit more. And I'll give her a shout out. Her name's Heather Duville, AK Moosey on Instagram. She's you'll see on a Meat Eater
oh, I've
too.
seen her page. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so she does great information. She shares great information on why she hunts and the reason why she does that and how it ties into our culture. But most of it is for conservation. Most of it is to bring to protect our resources that those sea otters are wiping out.
Hmm. So what do you do with the sea otter?
So sea otters, we don't eat the meat. It's just a fur bearing animal to us, and so we skin them out and then we'll dispose of the carcass, put it back in the water, and so it's a little bit of retribution for the crabs. They go and eat the carcasses and
Yeah.
it'll go back in. Seal, we'll do a few things with the seal.
Like,
So
but
we'll
you
skin.
but you tan the hides of the
Yep.
otters, and do you sell
Yep.
them or utilize them yourself?
So we'll utilize them ourselves, and we'll sell the products. And so, given the Marine Mammal Protection Act, we can't sell to just a straight hide tanned hide to a non-native. We have to make
Okay.
it into something. We can sell it to other quarter Alaskan coastal natives, But
Hmm.
so like my dad's a fantastic sewer. I can sew and I pump out products, but my dad's like the real
So, like,
the
give us an example of a sea otter based product that you.
yeah. So we'll do like we do blankets. We do like throw blankets, lap blankets. We've even done king size stuff before.
Mm.
We'll do like hats, mittens, uh, all sorts of stuff. I've even made like I use every part of the otter hide, so I've made sea otter insoles with my scraps, and
Huh.
which stay super warm. And then I made like little beer koozies
Yeah.
with the scraps. It's just to use all of it. I mean, to get the most bang for your buck and utilize the most hide. And then we'll with the majority of the hide, we'll make pillows too, and all just teddy bears even. It's
Mm.
the softest fur in the world with over 1 million hairs per square inch.
Yeah, you would. I mean, as a mammal that's inhabiting some of the harshest, coldest water
Yep, with almost no fat,
on the planet,
no blubber.
like you would
Exactly.
think that they, yeah, huh? Interesting. Okay, and then as far as the seals, the harbor seals, how do
Yeah.
you utilize those?
Yeah, so for the seals, what we'll do is we'll skin them out, we'll tan the hide, and we'll make all sorts of stuff with the hides too. I mean, we'll make traditional regalia out of the hide sometimes. We'll like vest and all sorts of stuff, and then we'll also do a lot of the same stuff we do with sea otter. So like we've made pillows with it. It's not super soft; it's more decorative, and
Hmm.
it's really beautiful hide. And
Okay,
so we'll do
but
that.
same thing. You can't sell it to just an
Yep.
average
Any marine
Joe.
mammal that we harvest, we can't sell straight hides.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
But then with the blubber, we'll make oil out of it, and so we'll render it down, make oil, and we'll get little cracklings out of it that we'll eat. And we actually traditional practice. I've done it a couple of times now, but is we'll actually eat the intestines. And so what we'll do is the small intestine. So you clean out the small intestine, you just squeeze it out, put your nail on it, and just pull and squeeze. And from there you braid it, and then you deep fry it, usually
Huh.
in seed oil. And so that's we'll eat that, and then we'll take the meat, we'll process the meat like you would anything else, and so we use just about everything we can off a seal.
So, what does the meat taste like from a seal? I never tried it.
Like with anything, depends on the season. If you get it in the wintertime when the salmon are done running, and but not too late, it'll be really rich, but not super fishy. If you get it, say like right now, it'll taste a little bit more like a little bit more fishy. It'll taste a little bit more like what it's eating, like the salmon and the herring, and
You're describing merganser in my mind,
yeah, yep. That's
which
it's
isn't
like
a
a
good
diaper.
flavor profile. Let's see. Where is my merganser? I got a hooded merganser. Where is he? Oh no, he's over here now. But yeah, they're really pretty birds. They don't taste that great though, to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah, it's like
Um,
eating a diver duck when
yeah, I mean
when
that's what a merganser is.
yeah.
Actually, in the Central Flyway, they didn't even classify mergansers as ducks until 2 years ago. You could shoot your 5 or 6 ducks depending on the year, and then I think the limit on mergansers was separate, and it was like 3 or 4. But
That's
now they're
insane.
considered a duck. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
They're not going to be counted as one of my 6 ducks,
Yeah,
though. I'll tell you that.
fair enough.
Must be bleak, a very bleak day if that's what we're shooting. So it looked like you were a lot younger. I was just going through your Instagram just to see like what is your life like.
Yeah.
Um, but quite a few photos of wolves on there too. Did you hunt those or trap them or?
So yeah, when I was in high school, we used to trap a lot, and so like we'd run trap lines. So a lot of the wolves that we trapped. I mean, there was one year we ended up trapping. When we got most of the pictures, we ended up trapping I think 6 off our island, and then and then we go run trap lines in other spots and get more. But just off our island, a small island alone, we got 6 out of one set that it
Wow.
was incredible. And so we used to do a lot of wolf trapping. I used to do a lot of mink and marten trapping too, and land otter, river otter trapping. But takes up a lot of time. So
You're not lying. Yeah.
yeah. So we don't trap I don't trap as much anymore. It's something that once my son gets a little older, I'll probably get him into just to keep us busy in the wintertime. But right now, I mean, you can only have so many hobbies and so many things going on at once. And
Yeah.
so trapping's taken a little bit more of a backseat recently.
You still have a lot of wolves on the island?
We do, and it's one of the few. It's actually the only animal that you can shoot on the road system here, and
Oh
so
yeah.
you get out past a certain mileage on our highway, and you have to take a step off the road, and you can shoot a deer a step off the road, and as long as it's not shooting on, across, or from the road. But wolves, if you see them on the road system, it's game on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, Alaska sounds similar to Texas in that you can ride around with a loaded gun, right?
yep. Oh yeah. So it's constitutional carry state, and so we can ride
Yeah.
around loaded gun as soon as like, I mean, what we
It's
do a
nothing
lot.
for us. I mean, we hunt white-tailed deer primarily, among other
Yeah.
things, but like if you have a lease or a ranch, like that's what we're hunting. But if you see a coyote, it's getting shot,
Yep.
right? I mean, most
Exactly.
Texans, like it's the same thing. It's like, well, why are we harvesting the sea otters? Well, they eat everything else that we like
Yep.
to eat, and they're affecting our ecosystem. And the
Exactly.
coyotes do the same thing. But yeah,
Yep.
we roll around as soon as I'm not going to say whether I just roll around at all times with the loaded gun in the truck, but I do. But also when I'm headed to the deer lease, there's a 243 in the front seat,
Perfect.
and it's always loaded. And if there's
Yep.
a coyote or a pig, then they're getting shot.
That's the same deal. I mean, I do the same thing in the truck, and I do the same thing in my boat. Oil my. I keep a 17 HMR in my boat at all times,
Uh,
and have to oil it probably 4 or 5 times a week. But it
yeah.
I can't forget it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, we can't shoot coyotes from a public roadway though. That's the only difference. Like you
Oh
still have
yeah.
to be on your own lease or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but you guys can't. That's cool.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's great that
awesome.
Alaska gives you that management abilities. Like if I know Alaska just from research I've done over the years. Like I think Alaska Fish and Game is actively participates in wolf management, don't they?
Yep. So they do. So wolf and bear management, and it's kind of a hot topic right now. And but over in Lake Clark National Park, or around Lake Clark National Park, they'll they're currently engaging in brown bear and wolf management, and so
Aerial gunning.
aerial gunning.
Yeah.
Yep, from
Oh yeah.
helicopters, and so whether you're for it or not, they do. And so
I'm
and
for it.
yeah, you know what? I'll say it too. If the science is there, I'm backing it, and I'm anything to protect
100%.
herds of caribou, deer, moose, anything.
Uh-huh. I was black bear hunting in Alberta one time, and this guy Chris McKinnon was the outfitter, and he actually flies and is paid by the province for every wolf that he shoots out of a helicopter during the wintertime.
No
He doesn't
kidding.
advertise it, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, he's an aerial gunner for the province of Alberta.
What a
Yeah,
job.
yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Um, have you ever got a wolverine?
No, but my little younger brother has. And so we we've only had, I think, 3 or 4 wolverines trapped on Mitkoff Island here. And so my younger brother was trapping wolves one day, and he's a great guy. Great guy. I loves the outdoors, but especially at this age where he would see a lot of animals. He would see a lot of animals and
Uh-huh.
tell a lot of stories about it, So
Oh yeah.
he would say there's one day we was running our wolf line, and he was running independently, and he was going, man, I think we have a wolverine in our trap line. And we're like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And so he's like, no, Brand, I keep seeing wolverine. I swear we got a wolverine. I keep seeing tracks, and I see scratches up trees, and I'm like, it's probably bear cubs, dude, that haven't fallen asleep. And so one day I get a call from him. I was right. I was right. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And sure enough, he caught a wolverine in his wolf traps, and
Wow.
he was he was looking at it, he's like, what do I even do? The thing was snarling at him, and it was caught in a snare. And so it just got caught around the belly, couldn't get out. So it was non-lethal at that point. And he was like, well, he's like, I'm getting a Wolverine today. He had a 357 with him, took one shot, walked away for a half an hour, got a 10-foot stick, was poking it to make sure it was dead after when he came back. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah. That's awesome. They got one. I'll show you
Yeah.
mine.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. That's mine. I got that one in BC on a trapline trip. And same type of deal though. It was caught in a snare in what was actually supposed to be a lynx set,
Yeah.
and was wrapped up in the snare wire. And I didn't have a 357. I shot it with a 22 cricket,
Yep.
and he would not die. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like point blank range. Whereas I shot a wolf with that same cricket, fell over dead. This
Yeah.
thing
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like, nope, nope, not dying. I told the guide, he was like, you need to stop putting holes in him. You're gonna ruin your hide. And I was like, it's not dying, dude. It's been like 15 minutes. Like this is. I'm like ethically conflicted now. I've got to end this thing. You know, like
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
toughest bastard ever.
That's what my brother said. He said he was expecting just like one and done, bam, with the 357, but he was like, I shot and the thing growled. He was like,
Yeah,
well, he was like, I'm not gonna dump into this hide, like dump a bunch of holes into this hide.
yeah.
So he said I assume it passed fast, but yeah, no, it was a feat, man. It was like the third or fourth time one's ever been trapped here on Mitkoff Island, so
Hmm,
it was a big deal.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go to how I found you and
Yep.
what I really wanted to discuss today. And that was a picture of you with a massive sea lion.
Yeah.
I was like, sea lion? I was like, where do you hunt this? Who can hunt this? And I start reading the article, and it was, well, because you're native,
Yep.
you're able to take this. But sea lion's not included with the seals and otters, is it?
It, it is.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, so you can subsistence hunt or
Exactly.
utilize these animals as well.
Exactly. Yep. And so we can. So um I've been part of sea lion hunts before, and I mean it's the same idea as hunting a seal, but they're way bigger, way meaner, and and so this one was a feat. And so how that came to be and was we had this that big sea lion that was aggressive in our harbor. And so and it was actually it had a name, a bunch of people named it for years. They knew that they're like, man, that sea lion, like some people call him Scar, some people called him like Willy at some points. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But he is known like he would be aggressive towards boats in the summertime in the harbor that are coming in with their fish and start harassing them, following them, bump their boat. And multiple divers had run-ins with them to where it broke one diver's ribs, broke three of his ribs one day by ramming him. Another one,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was working our harbor. Another diver ended up getting pinned down to the ground for about a half an hour by him. Didn't bite him, but just it came down and rammed him and when he was doing some work on our docks and just held him there and wouldn't let him move in like a show of dominance.
How scary is that?
Oh my gosh, at
How much
2,000
does
pound
this thing
animal,
weigh?
about we assume about 2,000 pounds.
I did not know a sea lion weighed a ton.
Yep,
What?
yep. And so this guy, we assume about 2,000 pounds. I mean, I think that the biggest one they estimate is like 2,400 pounds, but like
Wow.
regardless, biggest animal I've ever shot ever. But what ended up happening was I got a call from our chief of police. The sea lion was harassing people, was lunging up at dogs, lunging up at people walking on the dock, and they're like they're like, well, we need to take care of this animal. It's like having a 2,000 pound brown bear
Yeah.
in town trying to eat people, like a big deal.
What one
So
that has no inherent fear of humans, obviously.
nothing,
Yeah.
literally nothing. There's been people after the fact, people kept sending me videos that he was of him lunging at people, trying to grab them, like stalking them down the dock. And so
Wow.
yeah, I called chief of police up the day before it happened, and I go because I heard that they're going to put it down, and I go, hey, I don't want this animal to go to waste. Can I get some of the whiskers and can I get the hide off of it to make regalia and make stuff off of it? And he goes, better yet, do you just want to punt it? Do you just want to take it? And I was like,
I
if you're
love
giving me the
Alaska.
okay, yeah, exactly. Like saves us a ton of paperwork of like having to go work through the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association, like the people who manage it. And because they would have had to get like special permission from NOAA and all this different stuff. He was like, it'd be way less paperwork and it's way easier to get you a permit to shoot in city limits than for us to get the other paperwork.
Okay, so that's the difference. Like, so
Yep,
you could go out and hunt these things off your reef or out of a boat, like you do the seals
exactly.
whenever you want.
Yep.
But as far as this one being in the city limits, okay, that's where you had to get a paper, you had to get a permit. I mean,
Yep, exactly. I had to get a permit to shoot from inside city limits. And so that being said, he's like, I'll do one up right now. He's like, you got full permission. Take whatever time you need to. He's like, do it sooner rather than later though, because we have to take care of this problem. And I was
uh-huh.
like, let me clear my schedule.
Willie's got to go.
Yeah, Willie's got to go, man. Scars.
I mean, I've always wanted to get a permit to hunt geese on like one of the golf courses around here.
Same
But
idea.
they're not giving them. They're not giving them out.
Yeah, same idea, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up my brother and I called my brother and I was my older brother. I was like, hey, I need help with this. My younger brother was like, I can't do it. He's like until afterwards. And so my older brother's like, let me clear my schedule. So the next day we were getting out. We got out about 10 a.m. because it was December. Got light at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so we we had 44 mags with us. I had a 45-70. And we settled on, and this was pretty big discussion the night before. We settled on a 405 grain bullet because we were like,
Oh yeah.
we're shooting in city limits. We don't want pass through.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
this is I mean, 2,000 pounds is the size of a Cape Buffalo,
yep,
a big bull.
exactly. And we settled on, we're like, well, my dad has a 45-70 with 405 grain bullets that like we won't get past through with that, and it'll deliver enough energy to hopefully take it out in like one shot, like easy.
Yeah.
Well, our plan was perfect. What we were gonna do was we were gonna go out and look for it, and if we had to shoot it from the skiff, we are gonna shoot it from the skiff. If we had to shoot it from the dock, we are gonna shoot it from the dock, and we kind of had our shooting lanes figured out. Like if it shows up right here, we can't have to shoot from this angle to avoid hitting a boat. And we had our whole plan on what we were gonna do. Once we got it, it was like perfect, seamless, just like we do seal, except large scale. So we were running around looking for it for a while, and then in a skiff, a little fiberglass skiff. And so we're looking around looking for it, and then about 2 o'clock, I get a call from our chief of police who had just come in from deer hunting, going, "It's in the harbor! It's in the harbor!" And we thought we saw it swim into the harbor, so we raced over right to where he said he saw it, and we had a couple of aggressive. So another part of the story is that we had 2 aggressive sea lions in the harbor. We had that big 2,000 pounder, and we had a 500-600 pounder that was learning behaviors from it.
Oh wow, he's got to go too.
Yep. And so that one pulled up, and chief of police goes, there it is. So I take care of that one. It's like 500-600
Junior,
pounds.
get Junior.
Exactly. And I was like, got it. It was right in front of a bunch of houses, but there's no pass through, no ricochet, no nothing. That one easy, 45-70 right to the dome.
And now, did you pull it up? Like, what did you do with that one?
So that one, we ended up getting that, and it floated for a second. It took a deep breath, and so it floated for a second. We're like, okay, sweet. So we were planning on dragging it over to the beach, getting it up on the beach, getting it out like we do a seal, doing whatever with it. Well, we're working our way over towards it in the skiff, and all of a sudden the chief of police goes, "There's a big one." And I'm like, "Big one? This one's like 500-600 pounds." And sure enough, this big sea lion popped up. It was the one that was like, it was the one that was really,
where's
really
the chief of police right now?
He's on the dock with us. He just got back in from
okay.
Yep. And so he says, "There's the big one." I'm like, "Big one?" I'm like, "Do I have permission to shoot?" He's like, get that one too. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is another one. And so I ended up pulling up on that one, had a clean shot, but it was right in between 2 boats. And I'm like, I can't shoot it right here. I was like, I can't afford to fix these boats.
Yeah.
And so we waited for it to come back up, circle around. Meanwhile, the smaller sea lion's still floating, not worried about it. And people have eyes on it, so it's okay. Well, he came up in the wide open and started swimming at me. And I was like, perfect. Bam. It was the cleanest shot I've ever had on an animal. Like,
wow.
Right top of the head for 45-70, pissed the sucker off. I mean, 405 grain bullet from 10 yards away, you'd think that would be like that. But I mean,
and he was coming at you.
He was coming right at me. And I was like, I'm not messing around with this. So he ended up churning, rammed a couple of boats that are tied up into the harbor, rammed the dock at one point. And I mean, we're running around trying to get a clean shot to put it down. And then it ended up ramming one of the same boats. So one of the big commercial fishing boats, and my older brother jumped up on top of this boat. I throw him the 45-70. He's right on top of it, point blank, bam, it's done. And after that's follow-up shot, 405 grain bullet, mind you. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
And so we ended up looking at it. We're all shaking because we're like, that thing's huge. I pull up to it. I'm like, wow, we really screwed up. This is way bigger than I even thought it was. Like, and so we have a crowd watching us at this point. I mean, we have a crowd watching us. People and people we had a few people upset posting on Facebook, the Facebook warriors being like, they're slinging lead across the harbor. We took like the furthest shot we took was like 10 yards, 30 feet away. And we didn't miss a single shot. I mean, it was like, it was all pretty calculated. So
listen, do you want Willy out of here or not?
People? Yeah, exactly. Like, do you want to walk your dogs on the dock and be safe? Like, come on. So right then and there, we're like, sweet, let's pull up to it. And my brother pulled up to it in the skiff. I was on the dock. And so I ended up trying to we use a gaff hook, and we'll usually put it in the head or somewhere and gaff them to lift them up. The hide was so thick, and a brand new gaff hook with a super sharp point wasn't able to penetrate its skin.
No, man. And
so it just bent it out. And I was like, wow. And so we have this big J hook called a shark hook. We use it for like halibut and seal when we get them. And so I put it into its mouth, and it wouldn't pierce the cheek. Wow. And so that's how we were going to tow it over. So we have a little crane dock. We have a crane on one of our docks, and so we're going to tow. The idea was we're going to put the shark hook into its lip or through its cheek, tie it off to a buoy, tow the buoy over, hook it up to a crane dock, and lift it out of the water. Easy peasy, like no big deal. Well, that plan was like failing miserably right after the start. the hook wouldn't even pierce through his cheek. So I ended up having to put my hand inside of its mouth, already dead, but still scary, and cut a hole in it, cut a hole in his cheek, put a line through it. And we tried towing it with our skiff, and our skiff wasn't strong enough.
It wasn't?
It wasn't big enough. It kept tipping. We started leaning really hard, lifting really hard. Okay, we couldn't turn or have any control. And so we ended up getting permission to grab the harbor security skiff, this big working skiff, ran that sucker over, and we were finally able to tie it up. We had the whole police department watching us. We had a huge crowd. And so we were just barely able to tow that over. Meanwhile, so I'm towing it over to the crane dock. My brother went to take care of the 500-pound sea lion. And so
I'm looking at pictures of sea lion teeth right now.
like a brown bear's.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, literally like a brown bear's, man. It's insane.
Yeah,
And yeah, so we ended up, I towed out that big one over to the crane dock. And my dad came down to help out. And he's shaking his head, be like the entire time, like, what did you boys get yourselves into? Like, what did you just do? And so we ended up, I put the line through his cheek, barely lifted up out of the water. But the whole idea was I was going to strap it up, lift it just out of the water enough with the crane to put a strap underneath its flippers to fully lift it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we're doing that, we're lifting it out of the water. This line snapped, and I was right underneath when that happened. I pushed off of that sea lion, and it sunk like a rock. 2,000 pounds, sunk like a rock. I mean, just easy. And I was like, that is terrible. I look up at my dad who's operating the crane, and I'm like, what do we do? And he's like, we made every reasonable effort. And I was like, okay, I guess let's go deal with that 500-pounder. So I take off, and my dad's up there talking with the chief of police is with my dad up at the crane dock. They're talking. We're skinning out this 500-pound sea lion. We just about get it done. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call. I answer. It's the chief of police, excited. He's like, I got a diver on it. I'm like, you what? I got a diver on it. I'm like, you're kidding me, man. No, I'm not. I got a diver on it right now. We got permission. And so they ended up getting a diver here in town. The one that actually got pinned down by that same sea lion.
Oh, yeah. He was probably ready for some retribution.
Oh, he was 100%. He was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I will be down there ASAP. So he ended up, he dove on it, got a bunch of lights set up because it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock by the time we got there. It's already dark here in the middle of winter. And so he dove on it, got special permission from NOAA to do it because he's non-native, strapped it up, dropped the crane in the water, lifted it right out. And so we just got done with that big sea lion, threw the hide in the back of the truck, and got that one out of the water. And so that's where we see a lot of the pictures, like on my Instagram, of me and my son next to it, like me and my family next to it, is like, we got it out of the water. And typically we don't like, typically I'm not trying to brag on my kills or anything, like but I like sharing them with people. Like, this is what we do, this is what my culture does, and this is like a pretty amazing experience as I want to share with people. Yeah. Well, that one I was also pretty proud of. I was pretty proud of that one because it was incredible experience.
For sure. And like, you're now like a community hero.
Yeah, something like that. But so we ended up sharing that one, and my wife's a photographer too, so that helped it out a ton. She was able to record document the entire experience, and I was able to share that with people. And so we ended up putting it in the back of my dad's F-350 because it didn't fit in the back of my truck. And so we went and showed some family members, just to like drove it around a little bit, showed people that were curious. And the next day I got to it, and it was I was working on it for 6 hours. So I ended up to skin it out. I had to use that same crane we lifted it out of the water with. Wow. So I lifted it. It was insane.
Oh yeah, that's probably the picture I've seen where it's like half skinned.
Yep.
On the crane.
Hanging by the crane.
Yeah.
So I ended up I started off in the back of my dad's truck just to get the initial cuts done. And then I ended up hanging it up with that crane. And it took me every bit of about 6 hours to skin. And I was planning on trying to get that, the first half of it, I was really diligent about keeping it close, skinning it so I don't have to flesh it a ton, like keeping it close to the skin, not a lot of fat or meat on the hide. But then after hour 2, I was like, I just need to get this sucker off. Yeah. I quit caring. So I started skinning it out, and I was like, I'm fleshing it off later. I just need to get this done. And so it took me a good 5.5, 6 hours to skin out. And and then I had to do the biopsy on it to figure out why it was so, like, to get the information and to get all like the organs and the brain and see what was in its stomach contents for NOAA, because they wanted to do a bunch of research on it. So I ended up getting the organs bagged up, getting the brain bagged up, and I found out some pretty interesting things about sea lions. So I shot it square in the head, right? I mean, it was picture perfect shot. Their brain, so the skull is bigger than any brown bear skull I've seen. It's pretty comparable of like looks, but it was about, I don't know, skull's about that big.
Oh
I mean,
wow,
a big, that is just huge. The brain was about smaller than my fist, if not, or about the same size, if not a little smaller than my fist.
small target.
Small target. So even though I domed it, hit it, even though I hit it right where I was aiming, it still partially, I mean, it hit part of the brain, I think, but not the entire thing.
Mm.
It, like wasn't enough to do it in that first shot. And so and super thick skull on it. And so we ended up finding that out. Its stomach contents were entirely empty. Nothing in
Huh.
there. And the
No, he
biggest
was.
thing,
That's why he was coming into the harbor.
yeah, exactly. It was like I've been fed here before. Well,
Yeah.
and the other part of it was I found a bunch of parasites and worms all over him.
Huh.
Yeah. And so we think
Interesting.
that my hypothesis, I haven't heard anything back from the scientist yet. Who knows? But my hypothesis is that it was so parasitic, it was sick, and then the parasites actually got into its brain because I found a few parasites in its brain, and I was like, I
Mm.
wonder if that was just making it mad, like just making it crazy.
Huh. And this thing was like, how many years was he terrorizing the harbor?
Oh man, so I mean, so he had been in the harbor for a good 5 years,
Huh.
but and so because people knew him. I mean, even from
Yeah.
out of town, my wife went and worked on a National Geographic expedition cruise ship, and the people working on that cruise ship knew that sea lion.
Oh wow.
And it was terrible. So my wife's coming in on that cruise ship into Petersburg, and the lead person on that ship that's doing all the expeditions and everything goes, and keep a close eye out because we might see a big friend in the harbor. And my wife's like, "Hey."
He's not here anymore.
Yeah, he's not here anymore. Sorry, I don't know where he went, but yeah. So it was incredible. And then I took the biopsy for it. Figured out what didn't eat anything. Figured out all about all the parasites, and then I found out you can eat that. Traditionally, we ate them. I didn't know this at the time,
Huh.
but traditionally we ate them, and apparently they taste like mild beef, from what I've heard. One that big, I probably wouldn't assume so. Just like anything else, they get so big, they
Yeah.
kind of gross. But that smaller one, we didn't harvest any meat off of, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing that because I just didn't know. That
Yeah.
being said, I mean, we still harvested, we still got the hide and the whiskers off of it, and we still put it to good use. But
Now, what do you do with the whiskers?
so the whiskers, I actually have a few. I have the longest one right here, so I'll back up on the frame. So it is a solid, I don't know, 18 inches long, maybe
Oh
almost
wow.
20 inches. The whiskers will go on traditional regalia, and so we have these hats called shuckyets that you put on the very top of them, and they kind of flutter a little bit. It's a super traditional hat, and it's usually signifies a little bit higher, like it's almost a symbol of status.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna I'm gonna put these on top of a shucky at some point. I just don't know when, but for right now they're in a mason jar on top of my banister, so I can
Mm.
yeah, so I can look at them.
That's cool. And then what about the hide? What are you going to do with that?
So the hides. So right now we have 9 orders from our police department for sea otter and sea lion hats,
Mm.
and so like trapper hat style to keep them
Yeah.
warm. And so we're gonna once we get the hides back here, actually in next week or so, as when the tanner's getting them back to me. I'm gonna do that, and then the rest of it, I don't know. I'm gonna make some regalia out of it. My talking with some of our elders, and they're like, sea lion makes really traditional boots, like footwear,
Mm.
and so I
That
might
would be
make some.
sick.
Oh yeah, sea lion boots.
Yeah. I don't have any. I mean, I don't have anything that can compare to sea lion boots, but I do have a pair of like beautiful alligator boots from an
Yeah.
alligator I shot. Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, just to be able to do that, and then
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna make boots out of it. Have my sea lion boots, and then
What if I
I don't
wanted
know
to order a hat?
if you want to order a hat.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
how expensive is a sea lion hat?
I think let me see real quick.
And you might get a bunch of orders now that this
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean,
podcast is going to air.
I hope so, man. That'd be awesome. So I think a sea lion hat, and I could be wrong on this. I think we're charging 850 for a full fur. I mean, that's sea otter and sea lion, so 850 per hat.
Uh-huh. Okay. Nice.
And so I mean, I know the people probably charge a little bit more, but we have a lot of hide, man.
Yeah.
Those hides, I mean, so it was posted everywhere. But I mean, that big sea lion's hide probably weighed 450 pounds uh, prior to fleshing it. Once I fleshed it, it's probably only like 120, but
Right.
still.
Yeah. You got a lot to work with. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. Awesome story. And kudos to Alaska for, like the police chief is like, why don't you just come do it yourself and save us all a headache? Like I don't know that it's like an old time vibe and kind of
Yep.
like the Wild West, right? Like, hey, we're a resourceful people. Let's sort it out ourselves. You're not
You
gonna
know,
find that in the lower 48, really. I don't think.
exactly. And what I got to commend our chief of police on is, I mean, and our entire police department is that like they leaned on a really traditional practice and really traditional ways to solve a problem that was a problem in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's really cool that it exemplifies our culture a little bit more and our resilience that we've been here, and this is the practices that we've always done, while also maintaining that like this is a problem that we're facing in the non-native community, and so
Right.
let's work together and let's
Yeah.
figure out a way to solve this. And I think that our chief of police knows that, and he's pretty excited about it, and he's pretty excited that he was able to do that, and I was just pretty excited that I was able to do it for our community and make it a little safer. I'm a dog owner myself, and I don't want to see I want to make the dogs a little safer for my dog.
For sure. So I guess last question I have for you. Uh, was there a lot of blowback or hate on social media
You know,
from
there's
people
a
that
little
just don't
bit.
understand?
Yeah, so there's a little bit. And so the biggest blowback I saw, well, it wasn't necessarily against me, but it was against like the Marine Mammal Protection Act in its entirety. And was that calling for like people the abolishment of it, people calling for the amendment of it. And my biggest thing is right now is that there's this interpretation going around going around to change the Marine Mammal Protection Act, or not, that would change the qualifiers to hunt marine mammals.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are saying to abolish it in its entirety. I'm not sure if I would be for that or not, but what I would be for is making it so we're able to, so you don't have to meet that quarter blood quantum to hunt marine mammals. So like,
So like open up a tag system or
or just like tribal management. That I think that would be, because it's traditionally a resource that we managed well, and so and something that we've managed time immemorial. And I think if we had the ability to manage it again in its entirety, we'd probably see a little bit of change. We'd probably see a
mm.
little bit of change for the better for the environment. So that's my stance on it. But the only
So like what explain what you mean. So like are
yeah,
the harbor seals overpopulated where you live?
the harbor seals not so much as the sea otters that are the biggest problem.
Okay.
And so, like we've talked about before, talking about earlier, sea otters, they're reproducing at a rate that's unsustainable for the sea otter population to be healthy, and for our shellfish population to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so, what we're looking at now is that these sea otters are overpopulated, but we don't have enough people that are able to hunt them. We don't have enough of a market to be able to like trade hides. And so, if we're able to base like qualifications to hunt marine mammals, sea otters in particular, based on like tribal enrollment. So say that like I'm Tlingit, but I don't meet that quarter blood quantum. Say that someone was like that, they'd still be able to hunt because they're enrolled in the tribe
Mm.
that's traditionally managed.
I don't know, man, if that would ever happen. And I'm just speaking from what I would compare it to would be rhino. Like,
Yeah.
but it's different because sea otters don't have a perceived medicinal value, right? So there's not a black market for rhino like there is for rhino
Yeah.
horn.
Yeah.
But if you just opened up the market and flooded it, because there's warehouses full of rhino horn that has just
That's a
been
good
cut
point.
off from captive rhino,
Yeah.
well, then I don't think you would see the poaching. So I don't know. It's just like, but will they ever do it? We've been asking them to for decades.
Exactly. And so that's my thing, is that
People's feelings get in the way. You
yeah.
mentioned science earlier. Like if science dictates that we should do it, then that's that's my fundamental belief when it comes to
Yep.
conservation management.
Yep.
The science doesn't care about people's emotions, and the people that scream the loudest usually are the ones that get their way. For what unfortunately.
Exactly. Exactly. And so my only thing is I'd like to see a little bit better management, just in one way or the other, of our sea otters. Whether that's like, I'm not I'm not 100% for like just wide open, but if there's a system to where not even non-natives can hunt it and make it and manage a resource better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hypothetically, I'm like, okay, great. As
Sure.
long as it's being managed better than they are now. But so yeah, that was a little bit of blowback we got. And then the only other blowback I got was like you brought up the red beard and blonde hair. You're like, you're Tlingit, but I'm not sure how they look. And I don't mean any offense by that. I don't take any offense to that. But because it's a legitimate question. I did get a little bit of people being like, oh, it's Elizabeth Warren's son. That was my favorite comment. I was like, that's hilarious.
It's Pocahontas's kid.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's hilarious. But no, besides that, honestly, the vast majority of people were like, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Well,
really
I
cool
think it's
thing.
awesome. I do need to ask you this as a Alaskan native, and I told myself I would ask any Alaskan that I talked to
Yeah, fair
this
enough.
question: Are you for? Because I think a lot of people in the lower 48 want to protect Alaska, a place that they're never going to go to. They have no
Yeah,
idea how it works logistically, about the culture, about the people, and they're like, "No, we can't do energy development in Alaska. It's bad."
yeah, yeah.
What is an Alaskan's take on that? What do you believe about energy development in Alaska?
Yeah, so I'll say this. My opinions are my own. I don't represent, so I work for a tribe right now that I'm not representing their opinions on it.
Yeah,
And that's important to say. But my thing is that if we can sustainably, and I'm not going to reference even any project or anything that's going on because
yeah,
that's getting the weeds of it. But if there's something that we can sustainably do to bring energy development and economic and bring a little bit more economic prosperity to Alaska and the government, I'd say let's look into it. That being said, I'm also a conservationist at heart, like I'm sure you are with hunting and fishing,
absolutely.
and I would want to make sure that we have the protections put in place not to harm our
Mm.
natural resources. So like the one thing I will speak on is like Bristol Bay, the Pebble Mine. I am 100% anti Pebble Mine. I'm 100% cross
Same.
boundary mining because salmon's one of our greatest resources we have in the state,
Yeah,
even greater than any precious metal we got. It's the most sustainable resource. It's the most returning resource. So to me, that takes priority over at the Pebble Mine, like any precious metals, copper that they pull out of there, any transboundary mining that you might find in like Canada, you might find on the Stikine River, our river closest by here. So I oppose that. I'm pretty
sure.
opposed. But if there's a way that we can sustainably get some resource development and energy development here in Alaska, and and make sure things are protected, I'm not opposed to it at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's my take
Yeah,
generally as well. So,
and I feel like
and
that's
you
why.
know what? Every Alaskan I've asked has
Yeah,
said the same thing,
exactly.
right? It's like we would love to have not a life of luxury, but just more infrastructure, a little bit more infrastructure, which
Yeah.
makes everything just function. I think logistics is the most limiting factor in Alaska, especially if you're talking about like going hunting.
Yep.
Even if you're an Alaskan resident, okay, now I have to get to 500 miles over here to do my sheep hunt or wherever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
infrastructure and prosperity are good things. If you can
Exactly.
do it without raping and pillaging the resources, then I'm for it.
Yeah, it's to me it's common sense.
Right.
you know,
But do you think is it insulting for people, someone from Texas, to tell you, for example, you shouldn't be developing Alaska? Is that insulting for a Texan or a Coloradan or a native New Yorker to be preaching at you how you should manage your state's resources?
that's a good question. To me, it is. I'm like, you have no idea. So like the Lake Clark bear and wolf management thing, people from out of state are bleeding hearts and they're like
Yeah.
wanting to be like, oh, how inhumane is this? I'm like, man, how inhumane is it that they're gonna starve to death in 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you have no idea what's going on over here. So a big one is I sit on our Fish and Game Advisory Committee for Petersburg. And the big couple years ago, we had an out of state conservation group try and tell us that we need to limit from California. Tell
Of
us that
course.
yeah, exactly. That we need to cut back our limits on wolf hunting. We need to shorten up the season, all this different stuff. Meanwhile, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game is actually advising that in certain areas we need to expand the season, need to expand the bag limits, and like we need to bring some balance into this. And so to me, it's like if you don't live up here and you don't know our way of life and you don't know what's affecting it, you probably
Uh-huh.
shouldn't speak on it because you're not educated on it.
Yeah.
It's it's just like with anything. If you aren't educated on it, probably shouldn't speak on it very much.
Yeah.
And and it's especially especially being Tlingit, especially being belonging to a tribe. We get a lot of people that want to speak for us and want to speak out for us, that want to be allies for us, which I'm like, great, be an ally, but let us
Hmm.
speak for ourselves,
Right, right.
So
I've actually
that's
had
my,
your governor, Mike Dunleavy, on the show before.
oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yeah, he's a super guy. Likes to
Wow.
hunt. Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah. He collabed with SCI Alaska chapter,
Yeah.
and they gave away a moose hunt or auctioned off a moose hunt. Um, no, it had to be donated because it was a wounded vet that went on the hunt, and so
Wow.
Mike was involved. And I interviewed the guy who went on the hunt, and he told me, he was like, dude, you would not believe the governor was just getting in there with his hands, helping me quarter up this moose and then packing it
That's
over to
awesome.
camp and everything. And then
Yeah.
I actually ran into Governor Dunleavy at the SCI show in, I think it was the last year they had it in Las Vegas. And yeah, super cool. I just was like, he's so tall too. You can't miss him.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
hey, Governor Dunleavy, do you have like 20 minutes? He's like, what you got? And I was like, I just wanted to see if you want to sit down and record a little conversation on it. He was like, absolutely, let's do it.
That's
So
incredible, man.
yeah, he was super cool. Um, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get to Alaska someday, man. But
100%. You got my
but
contact.
cool
If you're ever up
story.
here.
And what is your if somebody wants to order a hat or just follow Brandon's page. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. What is where can folks find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on my personal Instagram is Ware, and then on top of that, my charter and fishing page is I'll plug that too, is Indigenous Adventures. You can
Okay.
find us on Instagram, Facebook, or we have a website. And yeah, so if you that's where you can find most of my stuff. Personal page or Facebook page, Brandon Ware. I mean,
Right
look,
on.
you'll find me.
Well, hey, thanks for the time, brother. I certainly appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your story, and
Yeah, of course.
it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, man. It was great talking about it, and it was a great conversation.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a good rest of the summer.
Yeah, you too.
Adios.
All right, talk to you later.